Good morning, viewers, and welcome to another Onside SA soccer show. Paul is unfortunately in Cape Town, going to have a look at horses and obviously going to the Met, while our regular super sub, Gavin Radford, has picked up a flu virus, so won't be joining me. Fortunately for us, our UK correspondent Stevie Brahm will be joining me shortly to go through the Premiership and Championship fixtures and hopefully find us a few winners. This week has our last one standing competition, which is going to be the final one for the season. If you want to know the rules, you can go to our Onside SA website, or you can contact me on 076 025 8432. You can either get hold of me via WhatsApp or obviously text, or just pick up the phone and dial me. It starts this week. We're hoping to have a record number of people, and just to tell people, it includes an overseas trip to watch your UK team play a game of your choice. We're now going to join with our UK correspondent Stevie Brahm, who's in a nice warm English studio. Good morning, Steve. How are you going? Steve?
Hello. Yeah, good morning.
Finally made it after a bad train.
Like one of those sort of films, sort of trains, planes and automobiles. I feel like I've sort of been through the ringer 2.25 hours to get in this morning, but I'm here, ready to go.
All right. Steve, League Cup was a priority for most of us this week. What a good game the Aston Villa-Leicester City game was.
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, I think Leicester are going to look back on those two games, are going to think, how on earth did we not get through?
Yeah.
Because they had enough chances in both games, and in the first sort of half an hour of the game the other night, you know, they really had some good chances. We couldn't just quite hit the target. Maybe sort of without Jamie Vardy there with his sort of clinical finishing, and then they got sort of sucker punched. I mean, Matt Targett scored against the runner play, and then obviously caught out, after they got back in the game, got caught out right at the death. So I think they will be smarting. I mean, they've still got the FA Cup, and obviously they're in pole position for a Champions League place. But fair play to Villa.
Yeah,
they dug in, and not an easy game for them against City, obviously, but they got a Wembley final to look forward to.
One question: the goalkeeper Nala, the young Norwegian, was out of this world. I don't think he'd ever play a better game. Will he play in the final? Because I saw Pepe Reina is available to play in the final.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting, and I think it's going to depend how, maybe Reina plays in league games. It would be hard on him to drop him after his performance the other night. So I think they've got a few weeks before the final, so I guess Dean Smith can look at the two of them and just see and pick the best player for the game.
Yeah, I agree. Now, last night, Man United, Man City. I thought United tried hard. City could have put it away early on, but United grew into the game, and the sending off I thought was harsh, but what can you do?
That's the trouble, isn't it? I mean, the second yellow, and it was done. And at that point, you thought that was it. Although they had one or two late chances. Look, as we said before, the game was done really in the first half at Old Trafford. Had they been able to come back from that, would have been sensational, really. When they were at that first game, they had one or two chances to maybe narrow it to 2-3.
Yeah.
That could have made a difference. But that's the second time they've won over at the Etihad this season. So not many teams can say going to better that. They can. It's a shame, but United are going to sort of concentrate on the league and the FA Cup, where they've obviously got a good opportunity.
Yeah, the one question mark I would have is that the 2 or 3 minutes to go, we got a free kick outside the box when Maguire was fired. What the hell is Fred doing on the free kick? Juan Mata is not the most mobile, but on dead ball situations, he's our best.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The minute I saw them lining up, and I thought Fred's going to take this, and it was going to be, and the angle he had, he was never going to get any real power on it. So it was disappointing, because that was an opportunity. It was a careless foul by Otamendi on Maguire, but it was half a chance, should we say.
Yeah, I think over the two legs, a better team won. I just worry about Man City, because in the final, I think it's the 1st of March, they play Real Madrid away on the Wednesday. So I wonder if that's going to affect his team selection.
You would think so, but as we know, he does have, if his players are fit, he has a strong squad. He might decide he'll play Jesus in the cup final and keep Aguero for the Madrid game. He can mix and match some of those players. One of the Bernardo Silva or David. He's got players he can do. Having said that, is he going to want to risk someone like Kevin De Bruyne? The real key players to my mind. So. The league is done for them, so it is only about the cups. But I think that is and that's going to be a tough game against Madrid. And I think City, without the league distraction, I think they've got to be focusing on the Champions League.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you said the league is done after Liverpool's 2-0 victory last night. Surely it's got to be done.
Yeah, you think so. Well, look, Liverpool play Southampton Saturday. If they win that before City go to Tottenham, they'd be 22 points clear. Yeah. And although mathematically they can be caught, it's not going to happen. So, and that's going to be interesting to see how their season pans out, because if they win the league with 6, 7, 8, 10 games to go, and they're still in the Champions League, as one assumes they could well be, then are they going to take the foot off the gas in the league and rest one or two? So, there is a lot to play for there.
Yeah. Talking to Liverpool, I don't know what Klopp's on about throwing his toys out the cot with this FA Cup replay. He's got a massive squad. Why does he just play the players that haven't been playing?
Yeah, I just think he's just trying to make a point that about this winter break and saying, look, we agreed with the Premier League to have a winter break. We're going to take it. We're going to take all the time, and I'm not making my players or myself available. I'm not sure that's quite what the fans want to hear, because Correct. At the end of the day, I know that the league is pretty much won. They want to go for the Champions League. Why not? Why not go for the FA Cup? Fans want a day out at Wembley. The club, unfortunately, the owners of the clubs and they want the Champions League money and they want the Premier League money. But a fan wants to see his team lift a trophy, and an FA Cup final is something that most fans dream about. So I think it is disappointing, and but the fact that he's done it and he's made a real point, it is a shame. And I haven't, but what's very interesting, I haven't heard anything about the other Premier League clubs who've got replays at the same time, because you've got Tottenham playing Southampton and Newcastle playing against Oxford, and I've heard nothing about those clubs. So whether they're going to play stronger teams and then use the rest of the time as a break. I mean, Liverpool players have not. Some of them have had a bit of a break over the last week or two because they've been mixing and matching their team. So it's not as if, as you say, he has to play all of his strongest players.
Yeah, all he's got to do is rest the front three. He's got plenty of other players. I think he's losing a lot of admirers because he's been brilliant so far. But I just think that was a step too far. Rather say you're disappointed, but not throw your toys at the cot like he is.
Yeah.
On to signing, Steve. I can't believe, I don't know how true it is, but Barcelona bid £85 million for Richarlison?
This was all over the news yesterday. I mean, 100 million euro. I mean, you have to say Everton rejected it, but you just wonder if Richarlison or his agents all of a sudden are thinking, hold on, Barcelona want me. I fancy this, or I'd certainly fancy it in the summer if they come back. So, especially if they come back and offer a little bit more. I mean, they bought him for just over 40 million, Everton, and it's good that they're in a position financially that they can turn down these sort of bids. But if I was Richarlison and you're thinking, well, I want to win some trophies, this isn't going to happen in the foreseeable future at Everton for a while. I can go to Barcelona and I could do something special there. So I think that really came out of left field, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I also saw that Barcelona made inquiries about Willian, because obviously he hasn't signed a new contract at Chelsea and could leave in the summer. So they say they're potentially prepared to pay 20 million. I just saw that news breaking. So and Chelsea can't afford to let Willian go this side of the summer, because they've left it late to bring anybody in to replace him.
Yeah. I just can't believe, I watched Barcelona lose to Valencia. The players that they're signing, Messi plays on the right up front. William plays on the right up front. Now, Richarlison, I can understand, he plays on the left. But if they need central defenders, that Barcelona side, they don't need strikers.
Yeah. Well, maybe they sort of feel that, it's like at times they go out there and they just throw everybody forward and just say, we're going to score more goals than you. But, there is something, look, it's whether it's a happy camp or not, obviously with the sort of change of manager, they're not running away with the league as they have done in the past, and they're losing games that they would not normally lose. So it'd be interesting to see how they sort of go in the Champions League.
Yeah. Steve, thanks for helping us. We're now going to go on to the Premier League fixtures for the weekend. The first game up is Leicester at home to Chelsea. How do you see that going?
Yeah, it's. I mean, obviously, it's a game. One of those games you say is too close to call. Leicester, I wouldn't say they've gone off the boil, but they're not sort of putting teams away as they were a few weeks ago. And again, obviously with Jamie Vardy not there, and he's such an outlet for them when they break. Although Iheanacho's played well, but he hasn't quite got the same sort of killer instinct as Vardy. And Chelsea, we know on the whole play sort of better away from home. I think it's going to be a really close game. I think you could go either way with that one. Really, Leicester want to hang on to that third spot. I don't think they're going to finish any higher than that. And Chelsea want to consolidate their fourth spot. So I think that's a cracking game. It's the early game on Saturday lunchtime.
Yeah, I think it's got draw written all over it. Leicester are 14 points above the fifth place team, which is Man United. With United good and Wolves and Tottenham got a tough game, Man City. If Leicester get this result, would you say their third place is secure?
I would say pretty much. I think they really have to go off the boil. I haven't totally gone off the boil. They've dropped some points, but they're still like, when they beat sort of West Ham recently. I mean, they still show that on their day they can put teams away. But I think they really gave it a good go before Christmas, but they were never going to challenge Liverpool. And I think City, as we say, over a longer period, are going to be the team in second place. They finish in third would be an outstanding season for them.
I agree. Now, the big game for me this weekend is Bournemouth at home to Aston Villa. I was really impressed with what I saw when they beat Brighton 3-1 at home. I know they got a really fortunate early goal. Aston Villa had a great result Tuesday. My concern for Villa is Tyrone Mings looked very leggy. I don't know if his hamstrings played up again. I fancy Bournemouth here, Steve. How do you see it?
That's a very interesting one, because it's interesting. I watched the Bournemouth-Arsenal game in the Cup the other night, and they were poor. I mean, Arsenal just tore them to shreds in the first half, particularly. They did have that game against Brighton, which was crucial for them. But that's the only decent result they've had in quite a while.
Yeah, a long time.
Villa have had a couple of results sort of go for them. I just wonder whether or not, as you say, they did play midweek, but whether or not, the adrenaline of sort of winning that and getting to a cup final. They brought in Samatta on loan from Genk. They're trying to get one or two in. It's a tight game. Again, it's one of those, neither of them can afford to lose.
Yeah.
A draw is the sort of thing that both of them would probably accept, because it keeps them both there. But they're both locked on 23 points. It's a tricky one. I just have this sneaking suspicion that Villa could get a result there.
Okay, well, I fancy Bournemouth, so we'll see how that plays out. Now, Crystal Palace are at home to Sheffield United. What's your call on that, Steve?
Well, I keep thinking that Sheffield United's bubble is bursting, and then there they go to Arsenal and prove me wrong and get a really hard-earned sort of point.
Yeah.
They're just making themselves so hard to lose away from home, and you think the only teams that have beaten them on the road in the last year have been
Liverpool and Man City. Yeah.
Palace have strengthened a little bit. I know Roy Hodgson's very disappointed. He wanted to bring a number of players in. So far he's got Cenk Tosun on loan from Everton, who's scored for them. Palace again are a hard team to beat at home. I've just got a feeling it's one of those games that could be a draw.
Yeah, I agree. Now, Liverpool have won the last 19 home league games against a Southampton team who I think, barring Liverpool, are the form side. Any chance for an upset, Steve?
Look, you wouldn't think so, but you never know. I mean, they could surprise. Danny Ings goes back to Liverpool and scores a goal, but somehow I can't see it. You just think Liverpool were just doing enough. In some of these games, they're just doing enough. Like last night, they did what they had to do to win at West Ham. Eased off a bit at the end. West Ham had one or two chances, but I think they'll be too strong. And I think they want to get the league over and done with as soon as possible. And I'd be very surprised. I think everybody would be surprised if it's anything other than a comfortable home win. Yeah.
Can you see Southampton scoring there?
I think there's a possibility. Liverpool, they've certainly tightened up, there's no question, because they were conceding early in the season. But, with Danny Ings there, on his day, he can score against anybody. And his goal-scoring record in the last sort of 2 or 3 months is exceptional. So, to me, I think that's got like a sort of 3-0 or 3-1 sort of scoreline on it.
Yeah. I agree. Now, Newcastle United host Norwich. I just don't know what type of feeling I get with Newcastle. They're 7 points above the relegation. If they get a result here, somehow I think Steve Bruce thinks their relegation concerns are over. How do you see it?
That's one of those games I've been looking at and thinking, this is a big. I mean, Norwich can't afford to lose because they're starting to get cut off adrift. For Newcastle, exactly as you said, I think Steve Bruce will look at this and think, look, we win this, we could potentially be anything between 7 and 10 points clear of the bottom three. And with 33 points, they won't need to win many more games to be safe. They've last night was announced they've just brought in Danny Rose on loan.
Yeah, saw that.
Tottenham, so should be eligible to play. I think definitely make things happen on the left-hand side. Brought in Lazaro from Inter Milan. I think they got one or two players back fit. I think that's a game. I wouldn't be surprised if they'll win that.
Yeah, I worry about Norwich. I like the style they play, but they seem to be playing free-flowing. I know they beat Burnley in the cup, but they gave Spurs a hard game. I somehow think that they may sneak something here. I can't be sold on Newcastle, Steve.
No, well, look, I watched the Newcastle-Chelsea game, and they were completely outplayed, and
1-0,
yeah, goal at the end, and then look at the game at Everton, 2-0 down, going into injury time, and get 2 goals. So, I think they're making themselves hard to beat. But I think, what we said, I think Norwich can't afford to lose, but I think they'll throw everything at Newcastle. Yeah. And the one thing that they seem to be sort of good at is breaking sort of quickly and catching teams on the break. And Norwich's defence, they rarely keep a clean sheet.
Yeah. Now, Watford are at home to Everton. Now, we've spoken about the Richarlison 85 million transfer turned down. I've been impressed with what I've seen for Watford. I don't see Watford getting beat by Everton.
No, I mean, I think Watford know that this is another game they want to try and target. Obviously, sort of the results didn't go for them the week before last, So, but I don't think Everton are a soft touch, and Calvert Lewin is scoring some goals. Interesting. I mean, I think there's no love lost between Watford and Richarlison because he left them to go to Everton, and I think they'd love to win and show him that the grass isn't always greener when you think you're going to a much bigger club. I think this is going to be a tight game. I wouldn't be surprised if it's another one sits on the fence a bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is a draw.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now, one game I can't get my head around is West Ham United at home to Brighton. I've been really disappointed with West Ham lately, but I think this is a game in the next 5 they have to win. Brighton lost their last 3. I just can't have West Ham though, Stephen, what I've seen.
Yeah, well, I think, as you said, I mean, West Ham have got some really tough fixtures coming up. They play Liverpool again. Historically, if you look, very often West Ham get out of trouble normally by beating teams around them. Yeah. Brighton have lost 3 in a row, but they don't look like they're bringing anybody in at the moment. And to me, they've just, Graham Potter wants them to try and play football, which is fine. But teams have worked out how to play against them, and they lose this, they really are in trouble. In fact, they lose this, West Ham go above them.
Yes.
They were looking pretty safe. A month, 6 weeks, 8 weeks ago, and here they are, 2 points off the bottom 3. I think, and we always say there's a team that gets sucked into it, and they did last year as well.
Yeah.
But actually, last year they were in a better position. I think I'm sort of worried for them. They just signed Aaron Moy permanently, and he's a good ball player. But West Ham, with the players they got, we know they should be doing better. So I think this is one of those games. If West Ham lose this, they really are in serious trouble, and they will be definitely well into the bottom 3 in the next few weeks with the games they've got coming up.
Yeah, I think bookings and the red cards is the way to go in that game. Now, Man United at home to Wolves. Steve, I can't have Man United. Wolves are one of those funny teams. They've got really good midfield players. They don't push out, and every time I've watched Man United against Wolves, it's been a stalemate. I think this will end in a draw. How do you see it?
You're probably right, except there could be this unknown factor. If he signs today, has his medical today, and registered by midday tomorrow, Bruno Fernandes could be in the team, where they might decide to just throw him in and see what happens. And I think that might sort of pep things up a little bit. I can't think Wolves are going to go there and win. I think United have just know that they've got to start sort of putting some results together in the Premier League. So it's a very tight game. And as you say, they have been very close, all the games between them. Yeah. United obviously edged them quite recently in the Cup.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, without Rashford, still a bit toothless. And I think I'd be very surprised if they still don't try to get forward on loan before tomorrow evening.
Well, let's hope so, Steve. I think it's a tight game. Now, another game, Burnley against Arsenal. Burnley beat Man United at Old Trafford and they beat Leicester at Turf Moor. Can you see them making it 3 in a row?
Yeah, well, the crazy thing is, they were sort of falling. They were one of those things that we said, right, suck that into it. All of a sudden, out of the blue, they two incredible performances and get themselves right back up to that 30-point mark. Yeah. I've been impressed with Arsenal recently. I think they're playing a lot better under Arteta. I was very impressed with the way they played in the first hour at Bournemouth. Played some lovely football. But against Burnley, sometimes lovely football isn't enough. You've got to roll your sleeves up and get stuck in. And, Burnley is the sort of ground that they have been to in recent years and not done well. So I think that'll be a tight game. I'm not sure Burnley will win it. I think Arsenal might just get a point up there.
Yeah, well, they've won and drawn 5 of the last 6 away from home, so the draw looks the right way to go.
Yeah.
Now, the Pep Guardiola, Jose Mourinho feud, rivalry, call it what you want. Sunday at the new White Hart Lane. Can you see Spurs getting a point?
Well, they're going to have to play better than they have, but you never know. They may just want to raise their game, as it is City. I mean, obviously City have got the sign over them, but I wonder whether Tottenham will be playing any of their new players. Obviously, they brought sort of Stephen Bergwijn in, whether he's going to be able to play. Maybe the whole sort of Eriksen saga now finished might be good for the club because I think it's definitely, it hasn't helped. I'm sure the atmosphere at times has been a little bit toxic. So, I think it'll be a lot. Last season you would have said, City are going to go there and roll them over, but, especially with their eye on the Cups, I'm just not quite sure what you're going to get. I'd be surprised if Tottenham beat them, in all honesty, but, I think this is a big test for Mourinho to see if he can G his players up.
Yeah, I just think Pep Guardiola is going to look to try and put one over in big time, Wouldn't be taking the 5. Well, I think 5 to 10 is not a bad price, but I think there'll be goals in that, but, Man City for me there. Steve, on to our league, the Championship. Starts off on Friday. We've got Cardiff against Reading. Thoughts?
Well, I mean, they played each other in the Cup last week, and they play each other in the replay this week. They would have played each other 3 times in 10 days. Cardiff had a great win against West Brom the other day, and I'm wondering if that sort of buoyed them. I wouldn't be at all surprised. Cardiff will play a stronger team in the Cup, in the league Friday, and play a weakened team in the Cup. So I fancy Cardiff for that one. And they're strong at home, only lost 1. Yeah,
as you say, 3 wins, 3 draws, last 6. Now, Derby against Stoke City. I went for Stoke City last week. They stopped giving away stupid goals, or should I rephrase that? Jack Butland's playing a lot better. I think they can upset Derby.
I think I think so. I think they can certainly hold them at the very least.
Yeah.
They had some very good results. I mean, obviously winning at West Brom, scored 5 at Huddersfield recently, beating Swansea at home. They look a much more solid team, and I think they're pulling themselves right away from the sort of bottom 3. Derby, have won some games at home, but they haven't beaten big teams.
Yeah.
And they came unstuck and lost at bottom of the table Luton, although Wayne Rooney got his first goal back in English football. I wouldn't be surprised if Stoke at least hold them.
Yeah, Stoke in a draw for me there. Now, we mentioned Hull City. They've lost their last 3 at home. I wonder if that performance against Chelsea had an effect on their midweek defeat against a Brentford team who got beat at home by Notts Forest. Can Brentford rebound?
Yeah, I think they more than likely. I think they will. I mean, they're strong on the road. Although, having said that, last time out they drew at Huddersfield.
Yeah.
They won 7 and lost 7 on the road. To me, I think Brentford hit this. The crazy thing is they haven't scored in a couple of games, in 3 games. Brentford. So, but I think they'll be too strong for Hull. They're a very up and down team. It looks like they might be losing one of their players, Hull Grzycki.
Okay.
Jared Bowen, a lot of talk about him going. I don't think he will now until the summer, but I'm sure he will then. But it's they gave Chelsea a bit of a game. They tried hard, but as you say, put a lot of effort into that, and I think that affected them midweek. But I wouldn't be surprised if Brentford get all 3 points. Yeah,
I just worry 1 win in the last 6 away league games is the doubt, but I agree the betting gives it away. Now, I can't understand the next betting. Birmingham City at home against Notts Forest. Notts Forest have won 5, drawn 2 of their last 7. They're 19 to 10 at a Birmingham City side who've only won 1 of the last 9. How can that be?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, Birmingham are very up and down. Forest away from home, and that was a huge win at Brentford. I was thinking that the best they might get there is a draw, but huge win, and I'd be very surprised if it's anything other than a Forest win.
Yeah, I agree. 19-10 looks a bit of a good thing. On to the second page for us. We've got relegation battle. Charlton Athletic against Barnsley. How do you see that going, Steve?
Well, Charlton parked the bus against Fulham last week, midweek. I mean, they literally did keep 10 men behind the ball the whole game, and we just didn't have the guile to break them down. One win in 17 in the league. I mean, that really isn't good enough at the moment, is it? So Barnsley, are trying hard. They're scoring goals. I think there will be goals there, and it wouldn't surprise me if Barnsley go there and get at least a draw, if not win.
Yeah, I'm surprised Lee Boyer with that record still got his job. Somebody said to me the other day that they've given him an extension. Is that right?
They've given him a brand new contract.
Okay.
They're new owners. They've given him a contract. They haven't, by the looks of it, given him any money this January.
Yeah.
They lost probably their best player, Conor Gallagher, who Chelsea recalled and decided they wanted him to have experience elsewhere and sent him out to Swansea. So they're certainly weaker now than they were a month ago. But I think they're probably, they're just a little bit ahead of those bottom three, but they're getting sucked into it.
Yeah, I see that. Now your beloved Fulham at home against the Huddersfield team, who got a good result in midweek. Steve, big game for you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's for us. It really is a must-win game for us to keep. Obviously, Forest leapfrogged us with their win. We're still, we are only 4 points behind West Brom. So, it's up to us now to win these home games against teams at the bottom. We should have one or two players back from injury. Probably not Mitrovic till next week, but I think that we should have enough. It's interesting that I heard last night late that there's a possibility we could be in for Jota from Villa on loan for the rest of the season. Okay. So, I mean, we've got enough wide attacking midfield type players, but we'll see if obviously Scott Parker thinks he might be able to add something. But we're looking, ignoring the cup game, we haven't conceded in 3 games away from home in the league, with Michael Hector in the back looking much more solid. And we brought in Terence Congolo from Huddersfield on loan. Can't play Saturday, but I think he'll be a good addition on the left side of defence going forward from next week.
Okay, well, that's good. I went for them in my bed, Steve, so let's hope we're both right. Yeah. Now, Leeds United got out of jail in midweek. They were 2-0 down at home against Millwall, come back and win 3-2. Surely they've got to beat Wigan. Yeah, well, this was the game, if you might recall, sort of Easter last season, that they came unstuck. 1-0 up against the Wigan team, down to 10 men, and they lost at home, and that really just, the wheels came off their season. I think they'll win comfortably. Wigan right at the bottom had a good win midweek, came from behind to beat Sheffield Wednesday, but you can't see anything other than a Leeds win. I just think they've got over their little by all accounts they really played well against Millwall, even though they went 2-0 down, but after that they completely battered them for the rest of the game. Could have won by a lot more. I think it'll be Leeds comfortably, and I think they'll take some catching at the top now. Okay, now Middlesbrough have come right. Their last 6 home games, they've won 4 and drawn 2 against a Blackburn team which in and out, poor away record, but their last away game, they did beat Sheffield Wednesday 5-0. An upset or home side for you, Steve? Well, it's intriguing. I mean, I saw Middlesbrough live a couple of weeks ago. They really didn't offer that much. Didn't have a shot on target at Fulham. Big team, quite solid. Blackburn, without Bradley Dack, I mean, that was an amazing result. I know that Wednesday were down to 10 men, but Blackburn completely walloped them. They brought in Lewis Holtby, the ex-Tottenham player, and he seems to be sort of galvanising in the middle a little bit. So I wouldn't be surprised. I think Blackburn can at least hold them. Okay. Our final 4 matches, Steve. We've got my boys, Preston North End at home to Swansea. Can we continue our good home record? Yeah, I think it's going to be a tight game, though. Swansea have obviously brought in a couple of players on loan. I said before, they've got Conor Gallagher from Chelsea and Rhian Brewster from Liverpool. So, and their away record is better than their home record. So, but, for Preston, not too far adrift still of a playoff place. This is the sort of game, against a team who are just above them, they've got to beat. So I think there's all to play for. I think it's the sort of game you could have all 3 results. Okay, well, let's hope my boys, the Lily Whites, get a result. Yeah. Now, the betting for me is wrong in the next game too. QPR at home to Bristol City. Surely Bristol City have won 4 out of their last 5, should be favourites here, Steve?
You would think so, but look at QPR last time out in the league at home, beat Leeds United.
Yeah.
So they are a real, very inconsistent team. They, 1 minute they raise their game. I mean, they're the second or third highest goal scorers, but conceded sort of well over 50 goals as well.
Yeah.
This could go either way. It really can. Bristol City had a good win the other day, but again, this is one of those you can't always bet against QPR.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're going to get from them. And there is rumour that Bristol City might be selling one of their best players today or tomorrow to Burnley, Josh Brownhill.
Okay.
So I think that would be disappointing for them if they did that.
Okay, now two teams on the outskirts of the playoff places. Sheffield Wednesday against a Millwall team who've come well of late, Steve. Can Millwall carry on their good form?
Yeah, they're making themselves, and obviously they did lose, but they're making themselves very hard to beat.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be at all surprised if they do that again. Wednesday, obviously having lost at home to Blackburn, lost to Sheffield Wednesday, to Wigan, had a good win in the Cup at QPR. I wouldn't be surprised if Millwall go there and hold them.
Okay. And last but not least, surely West Brom must be bottom placed Luton at home.
Well, you would think so. I think that if they don't, then they really are going to be caught fairly soon because, one win in 8 or 9 now and, really showing little form like they were doing at the beginning of the season. Yeah. So I think this is a game against the bottom team. Luton will score goals, but they will concede. They conceded more than anybody else. They did have a good win. To be fair, they beat Derby, and they'll have a go. But you've got to feel that, again, just heard a rumour as well that they could be selling or loaning out their right back, really good young player, Nathan Ferguson. Crystal Palace are trying to get hold of him, so they're struggling to keep hold of their best players. So we'll see. I think they'll win. I think they'll get back on track, and they need to because if they lose and Fulham win or Forest win, they're going to be like a point clear at the most.
Yeah. Steve, now the pressure part of the show. I need your best bet and your best value bet. Who are you going for?
I'm going to go for Newcastle. I think the players are brought in on loan, and I just think they're going to target this Norwich game as a must-win on the basis they can, put a bit of breathing space between them and the bottom three. And on value, but I'm going to go for Forest. I just think you mentioned it before that 5 wins and 2 draws away from home. Yeah. Terrific win at Brentford. I think they'll go to Birmingham and win.
All right. Steve, thank you very much. And just remember, I need your last one standing pick sent before Saturday, 10 o'clock our time. Yeah,
I should be thinking of doing that fairly shortly, I think.
All right, Steve. Thanks very much again. You take care.
Talk to you soon.
All the best. We now go on to the PSL fixtures for the weekend, which starts on Friday at the Harry Gwala Stadium in Maritzburg. I think Maritzburg will continue their fine form there. Cape Town City, while they've won their last 3 league games, they were all at home. They're poor travelling team, and I like Maritzburg at 13-10. Second game is Chippa United versus Orlando Pirates. The game has been played at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium in PE. I fancy Orlando Pirates. They've won their last 4. I watched them last week beat Amazulu. They weren't up to their best, but they really look like a good side. Chippa struggling, only won 1 of the last 5, and I think 11-10 Orlando Pirates is a good thing. Golden Arrows go back to their home stadium in Claremont, to the Sugar Ray Kulu Stadium. But they're playing a SuperSport United team who are hot and cold. Always a good team to take seriously in the Cup. They are third. I think Steve Compella will keep his boys tight. And I think 22-10 the draw looks a good thing in that particular match. Our second page, we have Highlands Park, who, while they have lost their last 3 league games, are always difficult to beat in Katlehong. I can see them beating a Baroka team who in the last 4 league games haven't scored a goal. Wallaby subject 14-10 is a little bit dubious. I just don't see them winning. Now, Amazulu Polokwane, that's a relegation game for the weekend. Amazulu was struggling. The game is being played at the rugby stadium. This is bottom versus second bottom. I have to take the 14-10 Amazulu. If they don't get a result here, I think they're in serious trouble, and I think they could get relegated. Fortunately, they play a Polokwane team who have lost 12 out of 14 and their last 7 away from home. So hopefully Lesotho can get back to winning ways. And last but not least, Black Leopards versus a Stellenbosch team who've won their last 3 games. Black Leopards' last game at home, they drew 1-1 with Chiefs, and they were by far the better team. Another team on the fringe of relegation, if Black Leopards don't get a result there, they're also going to be in trouble. Win and draw, Black Leopards for me in that Sunday fixture. On to our exotics for the weekend. We start with the Soccer 6, and I'm going the field in the Golden Arrow Superstore game. I'm going Real Madrid, win and draw at home against their neighbours Atletico Madrid. I'm bankering Orlando Pirates to beat Chipper. I'm going the field in the Man United versus Wolverhampton game. I'm bankering RB Leipzig to beat Borussia Mönchengladbach. Leipzig have won their last 5 at home and top of the league, and they should beat a poor travelling Borussia side. And the last game, I'm going Highlands Park, win and draw at home against Barossa, 216 Rand. Our second Soccer 6, I'm chancing Bournemouth to win at home against Aston Villa. I'm going the field in the Crystal Palace Sheffield United clash. I think Liverpool will continue their fine run and beat Southampton. I'm throwing the draw in with the Newcastle United Norwich game. I'm going for Watford to win or draw at home against Everton, and ending with the West Ham United Brighton Hove Albion game, going all 3 choices there, 216 Rand. On to our Soccer 10. I'm going Supersport United, win and draw at Golden Arrows. I'm bankering Bournemouth to beat Arsenal. I'm siding with Crystal Palace to get a good result against Sheffield United. I think Liverpool will beat Southampton, and I'm throwing in the draw in the Newcastle United Norwich City fixture. Onto the second page, I don't see Watford losing at home to Everton. I'm going the field in the West Ham United Brighton clash, bankering Orlando Pirates to beat Chipper United. I'm going the field in the Man United versus Wolves game, and ending with Highlands Park to beat Barossa at home, 288. Onto our Soccer 13, I'm bankering Liverpool to beat Southampton. I'm going for the upset. I don't see Wolverhampton losing at Man United, 2-3. I'm bankering Bournemouth to beat Aston Villa. I'm going Crystal Palace, win and draw at home against Sheffield United. Newcastle United, win and draw at home against Norwich City. Watford, win and draw at home against Everton. I'm going with Brighton and Hove Albion to avoid defeat at West Ham United. Onto the second page, I'm bankering Middlesbrough to beat Blackburn. I'm going Notts Forest, win and draw at Birmingham. I'm bankering Fulham to beat Huddersfield. I'm chancing my boys Preston to win at home against Swansea. And siding with 2 away teams, I don't see Bristol City losing at QPR, and I don't see Millwall losing at Sheffield Wednesday, 435 Rand. On to our budgies bets for the weekend. We start with our Premiership quad. I'm going Liverpool to beat Southampton and both teams to score. I think Bournemouth will beat Aston Villa. And I'm going Watford and Wolves to win or draw. Watford at home against Everton and Wolves against Man United, 2,600 to 200. On to the Championship bet. I'm going Fulham to win at home against Huddersfield. I think West Brom will beat Luton Town and both teams to score. And I'm going 3 teams to win or draw. I'm going Bristol City to win or draw at QPR. I've got Notts Forest to win or draw at Birmingham. And Stoke City to win a draw at Derby County, 15-1, 3,000 to 200. On to the PSL, I've gone Amazulu to beat Polokwane City. I've gone Orlando Pirates to beat Chipper United, and gone for both teams to score in the Maritzburg Cape Town City game and Golden Arrows versus Supersport United match, 3,700 to 200. My English both teams to score sides are Burnley Arsenal, Leicester Chelsea, Newcastle Norwich City, Charlton Barnsley and Leeds United Wigan, 3,000 to 200. On to our Spanish this week, it's a fiver. I've gone Valencia to beat Celta Vigo. I've gone Villarreal to beat Osasuna. I've gone Espanyol and Real Betis to win or draw. Espanyol are at Granada and Real Betis are at Eibar. And I've gone under 2.5 goals in the Madrid counter between Real Madrid and Atletico, 2,200 to 200. And our Collis King, 6 or Nixa, I've gone Man City to beat Tottenham. I've gone Fulham to beat Huddersfield. I've gone West Brom to beat Luton Town. I think Orlando Pirates to beat Chipper United. I've gone Valencia to beat Celta Vigo. And I've gone Villarreal to beat Osasuna. My best bet of the weekend, I'm going for Orlando Pirates. So maybe against the grain, people will doubt picking a PSL team. The last 4 games have been in great form, playing well, scoring goals, and I think they'll be the Chipper United team who have been struggling of late. They've only won 1 of the last 5, even though they are hard-working. I like what I've seen from Orlando Pirates. And my best value bet for the weekend is Bristol City to win at QPR. I know QPR are capable, but I've watched them the last few weeks. Defensively, they're suspect. And Bristol City have won 4 of their last 5 league games. Just a reminder that our next last one standing competition starts this weekend. Saturday, 10 o'clock is closing time. So if you want to get hold of me, you can go onto our Onside SA website and give me a shout. Thank you very much for watching, and please remember, stay onside.